Today, you know what I'm talking about.
Kobe.
I want to shift things a little bit. Kurt actually got the ball rolling, talking about the importance of people, building connection, and building relationship. And that's literally what I am about, through and through. My name is Robert Courtney. I own a social media and branding agency. It is our number one goal to understand the social media landscape so that you don't have to. We work with companies big and small. We've worked with individuals and big brands. We've worked with probably most of the top real estate brokerages in the state, but also some of the top real estate EXP teams. And so we have a really good understanding of the things you guys look for, the things you guys need help with. But what we've noticed lately is not necessarily understanding of social media strategy. What we're noticing lately is social media mindset. Like, how do you think about social? And how can I make social connect with you on a level to where you're actually passionate about it, or you actually want to do it? There's a book by Steve Covey, and the book is titled The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Anybody ever heard of this book? All right, so there's a chapter you probably remember in that book, and the title of it is Begin with the End in Mind. And that chapter has stuck in my brain and has impacted me in a way, so I have now included it in all my presentations, because it snapped me back to a time prior to my dad passing in 2014, and sitting by his bedside and having conversations with him that I had never had before. And in those conversations, he emphasized the importance of people. And in that chapter, Steve Covey says, imagine for a second you are at your own funeral. And you are looking around the room. Who are the people in the room? Right? And my dad, laying there, barely able to talk, he reminisced on how he was so glad that he shifted his focus in his life around 30 years old and decided, I want to build quality connections, and I want to build quality relationships. And I remember being at his funeral. There was 500-600 people there. And do you know the people that was at that funeral were all connections that he made after 30 when he made that decision? And so that always kind of stuck in my mind. And I want to ask you that question. When you think about the end, when you think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, what are going to be the things that are most important to you? More importantly, who are going to be the people around you that you've impacted throughout the course of your life? Because that is most likely what defines success for you. It's absolutely what defines success for me. And I also think about when it comes to your day-to-day life. How can you apply the same principle of thinking about the end in mind when it comes to relationships, when it comes to business, when it comes to even your social media activity? The only way is if we understand that social media is actually just an extension of who we actually are. And usually our challenge and our pushback on actually creating content and putting things out there is usually a few things. Either we're a little insecure or don't want to see the person that we're about to put on the platforms, right? Or we're not consistent on the platform, so because we're not seeing the activity that we're looking for, we're a little reluctant, right? But if we understand that in all actuality, success, if it's being measured by people, and our objective is to create the best connections possible, then social media can be our absolute best tool in order to accomplish that. Now, when I would give this presentation in the past, a lot of times the execution would be slow to follow. Like, I have come up with hundreds of tools and tips and tactics. You've actually researched on your own hundreds of tools and tips and tactics and things that you can do to make your activity across these platforms better. But here's why this is a social media mindset game. The reason that you don't want to create activity across your platforms about what you do every day is because you're not as passionate about it as you think you are. It all boils down to passion and purpose. And when I would build out this plan of content, conversations, and community, the part that was missing is that if you don't understand what your passion is and how it relates to the thing that you do every day, then how can I expect you to actually get active across your platforms? Right? So you have to understand the connection. It's not about what you're doing. You're actually in the business of people. We're in the business of people. We are on a mission to create content that creates the most magnetism possible. We've heard it today so far. Attraction, right? Like we are creating and showcasing our authentic selves across our platforms so that we attract the type of individual that we want to have in our sphere of influence. And so regardless of how you look at that, right? If you're thinking about it from your perspective and we're building content around ourselves, it's do we understand what our passion is? Okay, and then are we actually putting out content that accurately reflects what it is that we enjoy doing, the things that we love, the experiences that we're having on a daily basis, right? Those things are then what creates the conversations. We've heard about that today. The conversations is what creates the community, i.e. the opportunity. But as I thought about this a little bit more, this actually should probably work in reverse, because if people are the center point and the core focus, then really we should be thinking about the people. Who are the people we want to surround ourselves with? What do we want our community to actually look like? Right? And now that we understand the people that we want in our community, when we imagine ourselves at the end and we're thinking about the people that are around us, the people we've impacted, what does that person look like? And now if you include that thought process into your daily activity across your content, everything is likely to change. The conversations stay the same, right? But the content becomes a lot different. The other part of this is understanding that the way social media is built is literally based on the same concept of people. Our goal ultimately should be, how do we use our platforms to create micro communities that we can then nurture consistently over time to create deeper connections? If we're posting and creating content with that thought in mind, then it changes everything. In order for you to do that, it's important that you know the different ways that you can do it across the different platforms out there, right? I read a stat today that came from Forbes trends list for 2024. It said Facebook is making the biggest resurgence. 53% of the country uses Facebook as its #1 platform right now.
Oh, wow.
I also read another interesting stat that's a little off topic, but it said the person that's been born in the last 5 years who lives to 70 will spend 5.5 years on social media. 160 minutes per month or per day, the average person is spending. The average person is on 7 platforms, right? Like it's just re-impressing upon our minds how good or bad or other, this is a tool that is here and being used. Your opportunities are there. The community is there. With these platforms, they all give us a phenomenal opportunity to create these micro communities that we're talking about. If we're on Facebook, we're talking about Facebook groups. How many people have a Facebook group? Their own Facebook group. Not near enough, right? Like this is a platform you're using every single day. The only job is to extract the people that are a part of your friends group into the Facebook group. And you just do that through the content that you're putting out. On Instagram, they just launched a new feature called channels, broadcast channels. Who's familiar with broadcast channels? Nowhere near enough. This is the new Facebook group for Instagram. So if you spend tons of time on Instagram, your only job is to extract your followers into your broadcast channel. The goal here is to create direct communication. You were just shown a few speakers ago a whole CRM play, right, for being able to extract and build your database. We're doing the exact same thing, you're just doing it across social media platforms, right? We're trying to do as much database building, i.e. micro community building, as possible. It is the exact same thing. It's just social media mindset versus traditional mindset. Everything you've always done to be successful, creating the exact same process across the social media platforms. Now, when it comes to content, Alex Hormozi has created this system that I kind of swear by. It's a very easy way to create framework for making sure that your content is effective. Understanding your passion. What is it that gets you excited? It's not your strategy. It's not you not understanding the platform, because I see you posting about your kids' birthdays and the graduations, right? And the things that you're actually excited about, which means you know how to use it. But because the thing you do every day isn't sparking the same excitement, you don't post. You're not moved to actually put out content for that. So we have to create the connection that this isn't about real estate. This is about helping people. We are in the people business. And so if you help someone, does that get you excited? When you give somebody his dream home, does that get you excited? That's the content that needs to be shared. And then, what's your promise? What is it that you show up to do every single day you show up for the people that you show up for, right? Making sure that you understand that, and then you are delivering that through the content that you put out. What is the proof that you are able to do the things that you say you do? Okay, and then finally, what's the plan? How do you help people accomplish what it is that they need to accomplish? This is an incredible framework that has helped me in organizing the content that I put out, because a lot of times it's like, I don't know what to post. I'm not sure what I should put on my Facebook or my Instagram. This keeps you in a format that makes everything make sense, especially over time. And the community part, if you don't leave this presentation with anything else, change your understanding of why you're creating content. It is not about followers. You do not need hundreds of thousands of followers. Clients who have 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people are far outperforming in actual revenue and actual business than clients who have 50,000, 100,000, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Quality connections that go deep, putting them inside of a community where you can talk to them whenever you choose to, where you can continue to nurture them to the point where when they need the service that you offer, you have a solution for them. You are the first person that pops into their mind. And it doesn't have to just be social media, right? It could be an email list, it could be a WhatsApp, it could be a group meet, but there needs to be a place that you're driving this activity to and the people that's interested in what it is that you have to say, all right? Conversations create conversions. Conversations create conversions. Create as many conversations through consistent activity, and those are the things that help impress upon the people on your platform's mind who you are and what it is you do. I've done my absolute best to become the go-to guy when it comes to social media strategy and brand awareness, and that's what you should be doing on a regular basis. Do they know you? Are you talking to people? Are you reaching out? And I'll be honest, out of all the platforms that we have available, if you're not maximizing Facebook, it is the only platform that still allows us to reach out to people and bring people into our sphere of influence. On other platforms, you have to hope that you're followed. On Facebook, you can physically go out, or you can digitally go and make connections. You can literally add people as friends, establish mutual friendships, right? And already come in with a reputation because they're going to assume if they're friends with this person, they must be a cool guy or she must be a cool girl. Okay? Leverage the power of these tools to help take your personal connections to the next level and ultimately take your business connections to the next level. Brooke and Kurt only gave me 15 minutes. I would love to be up here talking much longer, but I would absolutely love to connect with all of you. Yes, it's another QR code, but please use it. And if you follow me, I will absolutely follow you back. And I will absolutely reach out to you so that we can build on the connection that we made. This was great. Thank you guys for your time. I'm Robert Courtney. I'll see you at the next Build 25.